Hello, my muses. Welcome back to the Modern Muse channel. I know, guys, it has been a minute since my last upload. I have been taking a little break from the internet and I was on a vacation, which was amazing. I took a lot of time to rest up, to meditate, after turning up, of course. And I got so many downloads, so many new ideas for which direction I want the channel to go in. And I'm just so excited to share, my new ideas with you guys. So be sure to look out for that. If you aren't subscribed as yet, go ahead and click that subscribe button. You can call me Cleo. I think a lot. And sometimes, just sometimes, I like to share my thoughts out loud. So you can go ahead and check out the rest of my videos and see if the channel is for you. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. Leave a thumbs up if you do. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get into today's topic. It wouldn't be a Modern Muse video unless I give some type of backstory or, scenario as it relates to the video's topic. So I was at this lounge a week ago, and guys, I'm not gonna lie, I was looking nice, okay? I was looking right. And I see this guy eyeing me from a distance. He was with his friend, and I'm a pro at this guy, so I already know when men are checking me out and looking for the opportunity to come over. So I know he was gonna come over. And eventually he did. After a few shots, I guess, of his friend trying to get him to relax, he came over and he introduced himself and what's not. Now, he isn't really my type. I prefer someone a bit more seasoned, more mature. And I can just tell that he wasn't. He looked about my age and he looked, I don't want to say unserious. I don't know the right word. But anyway, and he made a comment actually. And he was like, well, when he first came over, he mentioned, he's intimidated to come over, he can see the type of woman I am, stuff like that. And of course I was being nice. I told him, we're all human at the end of the day. I respect him as a man for coming over. And he made a comment. He was like, shoot, a woman like you, like I would have to get a second job for. And I was like, what? He was like, yeah, he's like, someone like you, I can't just be with you with just minimum wage. And then he made a comment saying like, he would have to like buy his own company, which, and he was kidding, of course. But the fact that he was even thinking that, it had me thinking like, the next day when all the alcohol, wore off, I was still thinking about it. And I was like, that reminds me of, I don't know if you guys were present on Twitter when they asked the guys this question. It was like men only, what made you miss out on a good woman? And so many of the guys in the comments were basically saying they didn't have their money right. They avoided her because they wanted to get their life together. And by the time she came back, he was gone. Like so many men said stuff like this. And that leads me to our topic today and why I believe that honorable women are directly linked to a strong society. Now, if you were to spend at least 5 minutes online, you're bound to see a post of a man somewhere claiming that, he's the prize. And while I disagree with this wholeheartedly, I do understand why some men are confused about the value of women these days. So when you really look at it, you have casual dating, hookups, you have raunchy social media posts, OnlyFans accounts, suggestive fashion choices, lack of class, lack of decorum when out in public, lack of manners, lack of pleasantness, lack of sophistication and charm, no domestic skills, no originality, no requirements before bearing children. And guys, this list can go on and on and on. And all of these things make it so easy for a man to think that there's just not much to a modern woman. And guys, in my opinion, women inspire men. When you think about some of the greatest works of art, the best love songs, hell, even some of the biggest wars, these are all physical manifestations of a man's love after being inspired by, a very special woman in his life. Do you guys know about the history of the Taj Mahal? So let me give you guys a brief history lesson. So, as you guys know, the Taj Mahal in India is one of the seven wonders of the world. And it was actually inspired by a woman. Basically, the emperor was absolutely smitten by his wife, Mumtaz Mahal, because of her beauty, grace, and intelligence. And he had the monument built in her honor after her untimely death. So this had me so curious, and it reminded me of the Mona Lisa by Leonardo da Vinci and how it's one of the most famous paintings in the world. And like, don't get me started on women like Cleopatra and Yoko Ono, if you know who that is. These women are basically cemented in history as being some of the biggest inspiration to some of the greatest works in history. You have women that have inspired architecture. You have women that have inspired political decisions. And I know how it looks today when, you have men fighting over, who's the prize, who's this and who's that. In my opinion, the modern women, we have lost the sauce. And I'm going to say we have lost the recipes. But if we're talking about how it's supposed to be, women are definitely supposed to be the prize. Women are supposed to be the reason why a man gets up and goes to work every day. Women are supposed to be why a man works 2 jobs, 3 jobs, just to make sure his family is taken care of. A woman is supposed to be the reason why a man wants to elevate his life. And you're going to have some men, deny it, rightfully so, because in their head, what I'm saying equates to me saying, they have no self purpose outside of a woman. And it kind of reminds me how we as women like to say, I don't do my makeup, dress cute, wear weave and lashes for other men. I do it for, myself or for other women. And while in some cases it can be true, possibly, I do too much reading and research to know that us humans, no matter how much we've evolved socially, in civilization and all of that, we are still animals who still have primal instincts. And just because we've modernized certain practices and, we slap self love onto it, it doesn't mean that these things haven't been going on since centuries ago. And when you take all of the extra things away at the end of the day, one of our most important purposes on this planet is to mate and reproduce. Because if we don't do that, there's no more planet. Like, I don't think you guys understand how important mating is for the future of the world. And to some extent, for women, the desire to enhance their physical attractiveness, whether it's intentional or not, it has been used for centuries to basically attract mates and to signal status, to signal that they are ready for mating. Whereas the same can be said for men, you know, nowadays they'll display the watches, the expensive cars, the big homes, the money flashes on social media. This is basically associated with letting women know that they have resources, and it is linked to their well, they think it's linked to their ability to protect and provide. So even though what I'm saying does sound a bit shallow, I know some people are going to take my message the wrong way and think I'm trying to say, okay, a man has no purpose outside of a woman. That's not all that I'm saying. I'm just saying a good, honorable woman does influence a man to do his part in society. Because if you really think about it, when a man does, well, an honorable woman in her being her feminine self and inspiring a man to accumulate resources, this definitely goes hand in hand with him becoming a valuable member of society. And if you have so many men doing this, to impress a woman, we are going to have a high functioning society. And basically, that's my point. So, obviously, there's spirituality, everyone has a calling, it's stuff like that. But the angle I'm coming from is when men do it, you know, as a way to impress a woman that they're interested in, or as a way to basically show off their masculine side to impress the feminine. I think it's safe to say that feminine women produce masculine men, and vice versa, of course. I think society functions best when a woman is cared for and provided for in the home, and in return, she can support and nurture her man so that he can be innovative and driven outside of the home for the betterment of their families and society as a collective. Because when you have these individual men coming together, great things can basically happen. But that's going to be it for today, guys. I wanted to keep it short and sweet, and be on the lookout for another video in the upcoming days. I'm gonna post more frequently, more shorter videos. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I kind of went off script a little bit, but I hope it still makes sense, and I hope it's not misinterpreted, or I hope it's not received the wrong way, because I'm not saying that men do everything for women. I'm just saying that the right type of woman can really inspire a man to be the best version of himself. And in return, he shows up in his community to make it a better place. That's basically all I'm saying. I hope it's received well. Like I said, guys, be sure to subscribe. Go ahead and give it a thumbs up if you like it. And be sure to catch me on the next video. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.